And yeah, growing seasonal, going local, eating from areas where the produce is close by has a big impact. So yes, all those things that these women are talking about is correct. Now, recently, I have taken another big step where I have become a fruitarian. So I eat only fruits. So because I have now learned and educated myself basically that fruits are the only natural food that one can consume without altering. So every species eats their own species specific food. They don't put salt and spices or cook their food or do anything to it. So right, everything that they get in nature, they just pluck and eat. And so for us, there's nothing else that we as human can eat. So with this belief, I'm going ahead on this journey. It's just a recent development. So where will it take me in a few months or a few years? Will I be running again? And you know, there's to show. I mean, it'll tell. There's time to tell. But I feel much more confident, and I feel that I am on the right path, and this is going to take me home. So that's where I am.
That's amazing, and that's the reason why, you know, we thought when we talk about health and nutrition, not just talking to, see, both Luna, Shruti and I mean the three of us, the reason why we are doing what we're doing is because it's led to a difference in our lives. Why did I look for organic food and start this journey was because when I moved to Lucknow, my children were 2 and 4. We came from Mumbai. There we had access to organic vegetables, organic grains. There was this Hari Bhari Tokri concept where farmers around Mumbai supplied vegetables. In Lucknow in 2010, for many years I searched and I didn't find this. So I started this as a very small initiative first. I mean, first just looking for myself. And then I realized that everybody needs this. And what I see as the result of the immunity, my children are now, so almost 17 and 15, they definitely got sick a lot less than, their friends in school and people I know. We ourselves have seen the benefits. I mean, my mother has had leukemia for 25 years. She's in remission now, but my parents are now, 77 and 68, and they have seen, and each of us, I mean, in my family, we have directly seen the impact of eating healthy and choosing the right foods. So, I mean, now, particularly talking about organic farming, and it's a very hard journey. We also moved here and we are still also struggling to make, to convert our farms to organic, because you have to actually, it's a process to convince the farms around you to. It's not enough for just you to be organic. So when Shruti came here and she and Divyodit, what they've managed to do, it's an essential, the need to eat well and the importance and the focus on organic farming, which we're talking about, and it's gained all this attention. But how does it actually happen on the ground level? Let us hear that from Shruti, because we can tell people what to eat, we can want to eat something, but here we have all these stalwarts here who are actually, we need someone who's doing that also.
Thank you, Jyotsna. So I'll start with the impact of conventional farming and organic farming on a macro level and a micro level. So I'll put things into perspective first. The world has lost 1/3 of its arable land in the last 40 years. There's a massive decline in the bees, lives also. So 30% of beehive colonies keep disappearing every year since 2006. And the earth loses 23 billion tons of fertile soil every year. So these things which I've talked about, they are all attributed directly to the pollution in the air and to soil erosion. So, I'll just say something very fundamental. When we abuse nature, we should not forget that we are part of nature. We are abusing ourselves also. So it's time to wake up and to understand what we are doing. conventional farming has increased greenhouse gas emission. The nitrogen which is used in the fertilizers, it emits nitrous oxide in the air, and that is very bad for the environment. Not only does it create soil erosion, but also it creates water contamination. So when we look at soil, we think it's dirt. It's actually not dirt. Soil has a microbial life in it. There is a diversity in the soil. It is full of bacteria, protozoa, earthworms, bugs. They all are working in harmony with nature to give nutrients to your plant and to improve the fertility of the soil. And by doing that, when we use chemicals on the soil, we destroy this. And in organic farming, we enhance this biodiversity. We make sure that the soil is the basis of farming. And that is why it's a 3-year-long transition for us. We don't make any profits. You need to be mad to be doing organic farming for 3 years at least, because there is no income. But we are very passionate about it. It's a very fulfilling thing which we do. I'll also explain something which is very elementary and we learned all in school. There is this process called photosynthesis, where humans, we breathe in oxygen and we give out carbon dioxide. Plants take carbon dioxide, they convert part of it into oxygen and release it for us and animals. And part of that carbon dioxide, 40% is used for the plant growth, 30% is for the root expansion, and the 30% is for the biodiversity of the soil which I was talking about. That is why the carbon footprint of organic farming is far less, because there is carbon sequestration which is happening in the soil. We are putting 30% back into the soil. It's not in the air. And there is no soil erosion because, when the soil is fertile, it has air and it has moisture. It doesn't get eroded. When the soil is dry and full of chemicals, the top layer of the soil we've completely destroyed. Also on the micro level, Jyotsna, like I was telling you about, chemicals cause cancer. They cause, heart diseases, genetic disorder, birth defects. There are such far-reaching, ill effects of chemicals which we are not understanding. It is so bad for the children. Our children, their digestive tracts are not developed. So these chemicals get absorbed in their digestive tract and they stop the nutrients from getting absorbed in the child. So they are not getting the nutrients, Immunity gets compromised, their growth gets compromised, their the brain system, it gets compromised. There's obesity in children, the early onset of puberty. So we need to, I think, start waking up as citizens, as humans of this generation. It's our responsibility to give a better earth to our children. Otherwise going like this, Jyotsna, in 150 years, this is all over. So we need to start waking up now. We need to start understanding what is organic farming. Why should we do it? We can do it at our homes also. We should start composting at homes. There's several things we can do. So that's my, take on the macro and micro level.
Thank you. That's very relevant, Shruti, because, this is what's really required. I mean, if we don't have these amazing guys and we have, our amazing farmers and entrepreneurs here, whether from PRS farms, from Prasakti, they're making cold pressed oils, particularly in this manner from Nutri-Regen. So here today we also have another very inspiring person, and Debashish, because I wasn't sure you would be here. Now Debashish, actually, I haven't taken permission for him to say this, but I think I can say this because it's so inspiring, his story. Debashish had a brain tumor. He did have an operation, but he totally turned around his condition and, his well-being with diet, nutrition and lifestyle. Debashish, do you think we could request you to just say a few words about this and, just tell people how, they can do something? Thank you.
Thank you, Jyotsna. I think diet seems to play an important role in healing and also in remaining well and in well-being, but one has to press on with it. If you give up, you will come back to zero again. So I think overall one can say that I have benefited to a degree from the effects of the neurosurgery which I had to undergo. So there is no harm in looking around, but fat dieting and crash dieting are very harmful. I'm sure of that. I urge everyone not to do it at all. It's a very slow, gradual process, and persistence is rather important. Thank you.
Thank you so much. But what I do know is Debashish is very careful about what he eats. See now, once in a while, having a treat. You know, when my kids were growing up, we would make fruit popsicles. The iced tea we're going to serve you after this talk is made, just with black tea and with desi khand and lemon juice. And I've never kept processed drinks. My friends fight with me on many occasions. They lure the children by saying, come over, we're going to give you Coke. But I've never kept these things in my house. We make fresh watermelon juice or guava juice, serve hot guava leaf tea. Because, a treat you can have once a week. Or maybe, but what you eat every day is really what builds the immunity in your body. Otherwise, so many people suffer from low hemoglobin, other issues. So how do you tell people to deal with these issues?
See, gut is the emperor. If you have kept a good gut diversity, like the soil diversity, if the gut has a good diversity, your immunity is good, you will not have diabetes, fatty liver nahi hoga, you will have, you will not fall sick very often. So what Jyotsna said, कि देसी खांड और नींबू और black tea से इन्होंने एक iced tea बनाया है. Normally iced teas are loaded with sugar. It's pure sugar and caffeine. So this is very good, and इसको पीने के बाद you feel very good. Actually ये भी एक addiction होता है. पर जिनको caffeine और excess sugar का addiction है, because that वो तुरंत kick देता है, and there is a thud which you don't feel in these kind of drinks. So अगर आपको इसकी लत लग गई, you will never pick up those. So it is very, I think I can urge all the moms to actually घर में इस तरीके के drinks बनाएं. Gulkand is very good, which is made out of desi gulab. And of course, if you do it with mishri, it's excellent. क्यों? क्योंकि पेट को ठंडा रखता है. Why? Homeostasis बनाता है body का. बाहर टेम्परेचर ऐसा है, अंदर का टेम्परेचर अगर बराबर होगा, the body strikes a balance. That is why गुलकंद और इन सब ड्रिंक्स का कितनी अहमियत है. होली के टाइम हम ठंडा ही बनाते हैं, which has a judicious mix of, all the herbs, nuts, and, this rose petals, khaskhas. It is much required for the body. So actually, if you keep your gut well, you will never fall ill. You will always manage everything very well. This is looking at the root cause. क्योंकि फिर inflammation नहीं होगा, dryness नहीं होगी, which is the root cause of many diseases, or many like gas bloating problems also. Gut को अच्छा रखने के लिए, like local produce, eating good fiber, and eating prebiotics like achar or mattha. Here I would like to tell you, dahi doesn't have prebiotics, doesn't have probiotics. Dahi थोड़ी मात्रा में खाना चाहिए for probiotic, but wherein mattha, a thin buttermilk, is a very good prebiotic. If pre and pro both, अगर आप every day, just try from today, every day if you take lunch के बाद अगर आप मट्ठा पीते हैं, either with lunch or immediately after lunch, 10 days, see how you feel within your body. Just try this.
और आज हमारे पास probiotics, we have an amazing source of them. Go along to the Green Donkey farms, and from their freshly grown vegetables, they actually make these probiotic cabbage and vegetable-based probiotic vegetables. So that's something that's really amazing to have. But coming now to Neeta, because this is what she eats. So how do you convince people, or how did you decide from the beginning to not, what's the journey been to moving to natural foods from processed foods, and how have you experienced it as benefiting you? Now tell us in more detail. We touched on it lightly.
Yes, when I transitioned from processed to unprocessed and natural foods, the addiction that we have, I mean, from childhood, we are fed those kind of foods. So giving up on any of those food is just not easy. It's a very, very tough journey. And persistence, as Debashi said, is very important. Every now and then one gets tempted, this memory strikes, this was so yummy when I used to eat this. And it takes sometimes months, sometimes years to come and give up on those addictions and move to something natural and take a homemade stuff instead of a packaged food. So persistence, yes. Trying to not buy things, not shopping when you're hungry is what they say. They don't go and if you go to the food market, if you're hungry, you'll pick up all the wrong things. So अपने घर से सारी चीजें जो नहीं खानी चाहिए वो हटा दें, and that journey becomes little tad bit better, smoother, easier.